everyone, it's Ansley here from Team Music Insider, and today I'm with...
I'm Ian Gray.
So Ian, you started your music career at a young age. What inspired you to try music?
Oh, wow. Well, I grew up in a family of musicians, and we all have a huge love for music. But my dad was a really, really big influence on me when I was younger, because he plays multiple instruments. He's a musician as well, and I looked up to him a lot. And I guess I just tried to learn everything I could at that young of an age. So I would say my dad.
Oh, that's awesome. How would you describe your musical style?
Oh God, how much time do you have? But I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of influences, and they change as time goes on. But I guess if I were to put a name on my music style, probably be like alternative pop, maybe indie alternative pop. Like if Ed Sheeran and 21 Pilots wrote a song together. I feel like that's the best description I can do. But probably indie alternative pop.
Okay, cool. What artists do you look up to right now?
Well, right now I've gotten into a lot of like hip hop stuff, urban hip hop. So people like a guy named Anderson .Paak, Chance the Rapper, Kendrick Lamar. But I guess some all-time favorites, like 21 Pilots. I'm really, really into them. And an unknown guy, his name's Glenn Hansard. I went to one of his concerts, and he's probably one of the biggest influences on me as an artist, like as another artist. But it changes all the time. Like I'm a sucker for different, depending on someone's style or how original they are. That's one of the reasons why I love people like Kendrick Lamar or Childish Gambino, because they're so innovative and different. But yeah, probably them.
Yeah, for sure. No, I totally get what you're saying. So what are your friends and parents' thoughts on your career in singing so far?
Well, my parents are very supportive. My family is very, very supportive of me. They always have been too. They know how much I love music and how much I'll give up and work for it. But my friends, they kind of see it as crazy, like stupid. They look at it as like, I have some friends that I've been friends with for a while who believe in me and support me as best they can. But there's some people that are just like, I've had people laugh at me before, but I also kind of see where they're coming from. Like,
yeah, no, definitely.
If you really think about it, this is kind of crazy, but some people like it. Some people really disagree with it. Some people judge me and my family for the decisions we've made, but I try to keep a small circle of people who are really supportive and really believe in me, and I feel like I can't go wrong with that. So yeah, mixed emotions.
Yeah, definitely. And especially in LA and in this business, you have to have a good support system. So did you have like a breakout song that started things for you and your followers, or how would you say you gained some following?
Well, it's actually, this is the one thing that not the one thing, but a thing that I really take a lot of pride in. I didn't have like a breakout song or anything, but I would always do videos and post things, and apparently I tried to look if like there's any tips on how to do social media or how to gain following on social media. There's not really. There's no easy way to do it, but the way that everyone who has some sort of a following, they put out quality content a lot. Like they constantly put out content. So I just kept constantly putting out content, but building an organic following at the same time.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who like they can have millions of followers but get like 2,000, 3,000 likes on a picture. It's like there's something a little off there. But there's an organic following that I built and a connection that I've built with everyone. I'll never get used to saying the word fans, but every supportive person. So I guess just constantly putting out content, music content, but trying to be different every time. Like everything every time I make a video, I kind of got to ask myself just what makes this video different? What would make somebody want to watch this video? Because I can forget that a lot. Sometimes I can just do it like it's muscle memory, but there has to be something different about a video that people want to see. So I guess that process every week or every day kind of helps me gain a following.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely get what you're saying. And that's a good way of putting it for people who don't get what social media or building a following is.
Yeah.
So you were saying you put a lot of content out. Well, how do you, what's the process of choosing cover songs for you to record?
Well, at first when I did it, it was like what people wanted to hear, like what was on the radio, what was in top 10, stuff like that. But it's grown to something different. It's grown to, one, I used to just do it for other people. I didn't really do it for myself. I used to do it because someone said I should do the song on top 10, even if, regardless of whether or not I liked the song. But now it's more, I'll try to go for lesser known songs from big artists, like people like Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
He Shape of You and Castle on the Hill, 2 singles from his album. Huge singles, but everyone did covers of them. And it almost got repetitive and redundant. Every time it's just like a new cover of the same song. So I went and looked for a lesser known song from that album. And there was a lot of good feedback from that. There was a lot of good feedback from people, even in person, they would go up to me. But I guess the process would be trying to find big artists, but find the lesser known songs from those artists and change them up a lot, like put them on an acoustic guitar or a piano and kind of make them my own. So.
Oh, that's really cool. That's interesting to hear. Because that's, yeah, hearing it from you is definitely, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the process to make one of your like music videos? Do you kind of just sit down or what do you do in them?
Well, I do everything. This is actually the setup for the videos that I do. But I'm literally in my garage. I have some lights, 3 lights. But I have like a little setup, but there's never really a schedule.
Yeah.
And I almost like that. There's never really a schedule with it. I can say, tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. I'm going to record a song and then be done by 3. That's not, no. It's very spur of the moment, very spontaneous, and it gives it a very fun, daring effect to do them. It gives it a very, it's Monday night and I got to post a cover tomorrow. I still don't know a song, but I'll come up with one in 30 minutes. It gives it a fun, very spontaneous, almost playful, but very serious. It gives it a very fun feeling. And I have lights, I have a microphone, I have just a little setup, my computer over there. But there's not much to it, but I'm working on it, I'm getting better. So yeah.
Oh, cool. So did you have like a favorite cover song you've done so far?
Oh man. That's hard. Every time I do a cover song, I try to put as much meaning behind it as I can. I don't want it to just be like I'm singing lyrics that I memorized.
Yeah.
I want it to be a little more than that. So I put a lot of emotion into all of the covers that I do. But probably a song called Liability by Lorde. She released a song called Liability. That was really, really, I felt a lot of connection with that one. And it was really fun to play on piano, and I enjoyed it. So probably Liability by Lorde. Oh,
cool. So you're currently on the Pop Game. Can you tell us how that opportunity came about for you?
Actually, it was pretty crazy. I live in California with my acting manager and her family. And one day my acting manager came up to me. Her name's April. She's also on the show. But April came up to me and she was like, so you have this audition for something and you can't go in person, so you got to do it on Skype. But I found it off of one of my friends retweeting a casting call for the show. So one of April's friends retweeted, like shared something on Facebook about an audition for an untitled show. And at the time it was Pocket. And I auditioned through Skype. It was really fun. I just got to do what I love. I got to just talk to people and play guitar and sing, and it was fun. But that one thing led to another, and then we're already in LA, so and the house is in LA too. The pop house is in LA, and so they called us up and they were saying, so we were holding auditions at this building. We want you here at this time, and I jumped to it. I was super happy. I was super excited, but it was a weird kind of. It was a weird system of events, but it was fun. It was a weird opportunity.
Definitely. So how has it been for you guys on the Pop Games?
Well, we had our ups and downs on the show. Some on camera, some off. But overall, it was just us five. Like, it was just us five kids. At the end of the day, no matter how angry we were with each other or whatever emotion we felt with each other, we were still the only five people in the world who knew what each other were going through. So regardless of our emotions against each other, we still felt a connection. And there was this beautiful grand piano in the house that we would always go to. And at the end of the day, regardless of how the day went, we all just kind of sat down by that piano and let everything go.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and we still keep in touch. I would consider myself still pretty good friends with all of them. We talk a lot. We were always like talking to each other when the shows are on, like when they're airing, because it's a different view from how we saw it.
It's probably weird seeing yourself on.
It is weird. It's like, why do they choose that? every like when the camera turns on me, I feel like The Office. Because when we were filming it, you know, in The Office, when they can look at the camera.
Oh yeah.
There were so many times when I felt the obligation to look over at the camera like Jim from The Office does. Because whether the situation was awkward, who knows? But it was fun. It's weird to see me on TV, but everyone else is texting me now, like, "Whoa, I didn't know you were on the show." I was like, yeah. But my mom was telling me about the show that you're on, but no, it's fun. All my relationship with the five are still, it's still pretty strong.
Awesome. So, are there any other projects in the works you can tell us about?
Ooh, I can't tell you specifics, but sorry, there's a giant motorcycle outside. I can't tell you any specifics yet, but I'm constantly writing. I am writing new stuff at any chance that I get. I still go to school and I have school to do, and I'm in high school, so I have a lot of school to do. But whenever I have free time, it's always, I'll run in the garage and try and record something or think of something. But no, there's lots of there are new things, but nothing I can tell you about yet.
Okay, cool. So can you tell us about your latest EP, Avalanche?
So Avalanche is an album that I released last year in October, but it was like, it was a year in the making. It took about a little under a year, maybe 10, 11 months. But this was a while ago, at the end of actually 2015, I was talking to a producer, and this is at a very bad time in my career, because I didn't, I was really I was so unmotivated, and nothing was happening, and I wasn't writing. It was just bad. I wasn't talking to my family, my friends. It was bad. But I was telling Dan, the producer who worked on this, his name is Dan Whittemore, hey, we need new stuff. I need new stuff. I need new songs. So I went over to his apartment, and this was after a lot of like family problems happened, and writing for me is the way that I talk about that stuff, because I don't I'm not really good at like talking about it
Yeah.
in conversation. I've never really been good at that, but I've found a connection with writing. Um, so I basically went over to his house once a week. We wrote something for 4 hours. For 4 hours, I went to his house every Wednesday, and we wrote a song every single time. Nothing good. I mean, nothing, nothing good at the time. Nothing good at the time because they're, demo songs are never good. But we both felt that every single one of the songs had so much potential. And so after we wrote 10 songs total, but we picked 5 of the best songs, and put them on an EP. And we picked out the order and everything. And then it was studio. And I love the studio more than anything, because if there's any place to like blow your voice out, it's the studio. And I just love that environment. It's a bunch of musical people who all share the same love for music. It's like a unique synergy in studios. So we went and recorded the studio. I actually got my dad to come in and record some gang vocals, like
Oh, cool.
some of the harmonies. It was really fun. It was a weird connection, because he used to do this stuff, and we were 30 years later doing the same thing. But it's the biggest accomplishment that I've ever done in music so far. I'm very proud of that album and how it came out. And it's weird thinking about it today, because the process of making an album is such a complicated thing, but it's such a beautiful thing. And it's a painful thing, but it's such a euphoric thing. It's really odd, because you peak sometimes and then you're back down to where you started. Sometimes you can't think of anything new. It's all just, I love every obstacle of it, every problem, every solution. But it's something that I'm very, very proud of. And it was released as of October last year. It's still doing good. People are still finding it. And the thing I guess that means the most to me is when people reach out to me and say, this particular song, I've had people tell me about loved ones passing away, or people dealt with depression, and they'll tell me these songs helped me through some of the worst parts of my life, and that's the most meaningful thing to me.
Definitely.
So yeah, it's been amazing.
That's awesome. Are you gonna perform any of these songs live, or go on like do any shows in LA?
Well, I perform them live at least once a week, because I do like live streams and stuff.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
But performing, I don't have any live performances planned that I know of, but it's usually I do live streams every week and do a little performance there, about an hour's performance every week. But I do play the songs all the time, and I have to actually play them in my free time. And I know that sounds incredibly egotistical, but I have to, because it's almost kind of surprising how easy it is to forget the work that you made, to forget the lyrics of the work that you made. But no, no performances that I know of yet, but usually planning performances happens really fast. Like, okay, see you next week. But none that I know of so far.
Okay. So what's the feeling you get when on stage and your supporters are singing back to you?
Well, it's honestly, that's a connection I can't describe. It's happened before. People have like, well, first being on stage, that's the place I'd rather be over everything. It's comforting. It's a challenge, but it's comforting. I grew up singing to smaller audiences. By smaller audiences, I mean my family, but they are a small audience. But to have them sing back, to have people who don't really know you, I'm the opening act right now. I'm still the opening act. Like I'll sing for 20 minutes before someone else.
Yeah.
But to have people who don't know you, never heard of you, sing back lyrics, sing back the lyrics that you're singing, it's a almost magical connection with you and an audience. Uh, and that's how, I hate to say it, like, I hate to phrase it this way, but that's how like you win over audiences. But it's a weird connection, and it makes you, it makes it worth it. Like, it makes the struggles of performing and the struggles of writing and recording, makes it worth it. Like, people, you can see people enjoying it, and not only enjoying it but giving it back, and it's pretty amazing. There's not many words I can use to describe it, but it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Does your fan base have a name yet?
No, they don't have a name yet, and I've made the decision not to name them because I feel like they should find the name. So, like, they should be a part of it, because I've never heard of an artist making the name for their fan base. So I was like, I'm not gonna make my own fan base name because that's just weird. But definitely not yet. But I'm kind of excited to see what they come up with.
It's definitely unique what names they come up with. It's
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
it's like they come out with thin air. I'm like, okay, I can't do that.
There's been some contenders and some that are less appropriate, but none so far. There isn't a name that's stuck so far.
So how do you want your relationship to be with your supporters?
As connected as I can possibly make it. I don't want to seem like some untouchable person who doesn't reach out or doesn't connect to anybody. And I feel like as artists, you're kind of trained to have these 5-minute relationships with people. Like, hi, okay, bye. And you never see them again. And it's a really, really lonely way of living. It's very isolated, very, very lonely. But I chose not to. I'm choosing not to live by that. I'm choosing to actually make a connection with people and respond to as many people as I possibly can. I mean, it's a part of my day. Whenever I'm not doing something, I'm checking comments, I'm responding, I'm liking comments. Because I've had people tell me I'm wasting my time because social media is only a marketing platform. And it is a marketing platform, but I disagree. I believe that, you know, we're in an era of connection, and
No, I agree 100%.
we're connected to everybody everywhere. And I feel like there's so much more to it than just a marketing platform.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I make it a part of my day to just respond to people and like comments and really get into conversations and do it as much as I can. So
that's awesome. So has there been any like crazy fan encounters yet?
Actually, because of the show, there has been a couple fan encounters. One, I wouldn't say crazy, but it is pretty funny. I was at Walmart, and usually when you go to Walmart, you don't really like prepare yourself to go to Walmart. You don't really like dress yourself up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Walmart, didn't expect someone to be at Walmart. But there was this girl who looked a bit older than I am, just like maybe 17, 18. I always go to the candy aisle, but I was in the candy aisle as I normally am. Some girl dropped her candy and went, "Pop game, just pop game. That's it." Didn't like say my name, or she's pointing at me from a distance and like mouthed the words "pop game" and then ran off. It's like, I'm just getting M&Ms, did not expect that to happen today. And I'm just like in sweatpants, and it's like, no. But all she said, like, she looked at me the whole time just with her hands like,
That's funny.
but no, it was really cool. There's one girl who was I was actually in line for the movies, and this is the first time that I've ever been noticed, I guess. And a little girl came up to me, and she was like, "I've seen you on the show. Me and my family, we really like you. And I was just wondering if you could take my picture with you." And this little like 9-year-old girl,
That's
and
so
her
cute.
family, it was adorable. This little girl and her family, they took a picture of me, and it was really cool. It was the first time that's ever happened. But I haven't gotten any crazy ones yet, but I do feel like they're gonna come soon. So I'm kind of like slowly preparing myself. Like Walmart one, okay, that's so it's pretty bad, but you know we're waiting.
Yes, they're gonna be crazy ones. I've heard
Oh, yeah.
doing these interviews. I've heard some crazy ones. I'm like, okay. So, what social media platform do you use most to stay connected?
Snapchat probably,
Okay.
and the one that I use most is probably Snapchat, uh, because I feel like there's a more personal connection. Um, like I've had people like just spill their guts on Snapchat, totally um, explain everything about themselves, and almost they look to me for answers. Like um, I never really like say that I'm at a place to give an answer, but I will. Uh, I'll try my best to listen. Um, but I like Snapchat the most just because one, it's Snapchat, and I'm 15, and it's just what kids use nowadays, and I like it. There's funny filters. It's great. Um,
Yes.
that one and Twitter because I don't have that much of a following on Twitter as I do like Instagram. Um, because I usually just focus all of my energy on Instagram.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's the big social media right now.
Yeah.
So on Twitter, I have the chance to talk to people because there's not so many comments or DMs or whatever. But probably Snapchat. I like Snapchat the most.
Okay, cool. So, what goals have you set out for yourself so far?
There's always the goal of making better music. It's like maybe first on goals. But to never lose my original intention. And this isn't really a goal, like a thing that I'm going to reach, but it's definitely something that I forget, and it's definitely a reminder. So my original intention and the way it will always be, as for me as an artist, my biggest goal is for people to connect with my music. That's the biggest goal. That's how it will always be. But my biggest goal as an artist is for people to feel something from the lyrics that I write, from the music that I make. But I think one big goal is to get an album, to release an album, to make an album, because I put it on an EP, and that's just 5 songs, and that took a year. I didn't really. It was just straight off, like from December of 2015. It was that was the starting day. The starting day was when I arrived at the producer's house and wrote. I didn't have anything else or previous prepared. But I guess if I'm going to make an album, that's my big goal, because I have songs written that are just kind of collecting dust. But an album is definitely a big goal for me.
Awesome. So, if your life was a movie, what would be the title?
How to cram as much work the day before as possible. How to cram as much work into the day before as possible. That's standard Darby and Gray, based on true events.
Who would play you in the movie?
Who would play me in the movie? Oh God, probably. Oh man, I don't. You know what? Let's just not go for accuracy. I'd kind of just like want Benedict Cumberbatch to play me because he's my favorite actor, but I can kind of see that maybe not happening. So, probably one of my friends from school, mostly to make fun of them because they aren't actors, but probably one of my friends from school.
So, how has this whole music career experience been for you so far?
Well, it's a roller coaster, and that's a cliche word, but it really is. When I first came out here, and I was 12, I moved out here, actually with a nanny, and for a while, like just nothing happened. I basically just moved to California to do more school, and that was really, really bad time in my life. Like I didn't want to wake up. Just there's nothing to do. There's just I have math. I have the same thing as yesterday, and that was online school. It was an online school there. It's called K-12. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it so much. I didn't learn anything. But um, after a while of practically nothing happening, uh, the nanny that was with me, she moved back to Texas, where I'm from. Um, and you know, she told me that she gave like a week's notice, I guess. Um, and I was like, that's when probably I was probably the most afraid that I've ever been there.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much sacrifice for this. Now what? I can't live on my own. I'm 12. So after she left, April, she was my acting manager at the time, and she said, "There's a guest room in my house, and we've really looked on it and thought about it a lot, but we feel like this is the best opportunity." And I feel like if Ian doesn't have anyone to stay with, that's an opportunity wasted. So I moved in with April and her family.
That's awesome. That's very unique.
It's weird. It's a weird story, and it's pretty obvious to see why people could judge it a lot, and could think poorly about that. But all the opinions don't really matter. It's still, I'm doing what I love. Sometimes the guitar is my first instrument. That's the instrument that I know the most on. I can do the best on. But after Avalanche, it's like every time I pick up the guitar, it's like nothing happens. I feel like I burnt myself out on writing on a guitar with Avalanche. It's writer's block. It's temporary, but it's still here. But it was actually when I was in the Pop House, of all places, filming the show. I had this tiny little keyboard, but I could plug it into my computer, and then it could become any instrument in the world.
Oh, cool.
And it's like when I figured out that there's so much to that, it's like a whole new realm of music. And I'm trying to learn more instruments. I'm trying to be as best as I can on not every instrument. That's a lot of instruments, but I play 5 instruments. But I'm trying to better myself, like on piano and drums and bass, because I can play guitar and ukulele. And ukulele is not that hard of an instrument. And I go to guitar lessons once a week, but I'm kind of teaching myself on the other end. So it's a weird journey. Music is still everything that I am. It's unexplainable how it affects me as a person. And I'm willing to risk everything for it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you have like any advice or last things you want to tell your supporters?
Stick with me. There's going to be some hard times. There's going to be some great times, but I feel like if you guys stick around for a while, I won't let you down. Do my best to make you proud. But I just want to thank everybody for staying with me so far, and having faith in me. And fans are the reason that I do this. They're my motivation. They're the reason why I can look at myself and say this song is going to help someone, not only me. So thank you for giving me a reason to wake up. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for doing this interview.
No, thank you for having me. This was awesome.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I'm excited to see how far you go. I really do love your music, and I love watching you guys on the Pop Game. So good luck.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.